Hey, what's up y'all? Talentscowt coming at you with another video. I am your host, Terrence Godfrey. And today, I want to share with you my thoughts on the Elon Musk on a Clubhouse interview that happened a couple of days ago. But before we hop into that, if you're new to this channel, here we typically talk about tech, personal finance, and business. So if you like that type of content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and maybe turn on the bell notification. And if you really like what we're doing over here, you can also buy me a coffee on the link down below if you wanted to support the channel another way. But from there, let's hop right on into it. So for the people that don't know, Clubhouse is this new-ish social media that's been gaining a lot of popularity quite rapidly. Basically, it's an audio-only platform. It's designed so people can connect with each other, have conversations, things like that. Actually, when you think about it, it's they're voluntary conference calls. Wow, it's kind of funny. Spend all day in conference calls and then get off of work and have fun. We go into another conference call. It's just the state of the world we live in now. But on January 31st at 10 p.m. Pacific, Elon Musk did a live interview on this platform. And as we know, Elon Musk, love him or hate him, he's got a lot of clout. Let's just call it that. So Clubhouse has this limitation where you can only have 5,000 people in a room at once. I actually had I had a calendar notification so that the moment it hit 10, I would hop in. Literally 3 seconds in, the room was already full, and then people started creating overflow rooms with people that were in the room so others could hear that, and they were getting full. So, I mean, not to be surprised, right? It's like Elon Musk, he's literally the richest man in the world. He runs some of the coolest companies, like, with Tesla Motors, used to do Solar City, SpaceX. He's in and dabbling in a lot of interesting things. So, obviously that type of attention, people are like, oh my gosh, what kind of knowledge are we going to be able to learn from from someone that's like at the peak of what humans are doing, at least as of right now. Like, he's almost peak guy in the sense of success and, technology and space, things like that, right? What was really interesting and kind of disappointing is that while having a figure like him who's touching on so many different things, the first 30, 40 minutes or so, people were asking like the silliest questions. Like, they were asking things that we already knew. Like, there was so much time spent asking Elon Musk about memes, like literal memes. Now, obviously, we know he's a nerd. He's like from the internet community, or at least, he is now a staple in the internet community. People were really just trying to talk to him about memes and things like that, which, I mean, I guess it's kind of funny, but when you have this large of an audience tuning into this platform, you kind of just expected more. It's like, what are the plans? Like, what's really going on? Now, we got a couple of nuggets, right? So Elon, he did mention that he believes that we'll get humans to Mars within 5.5 years, which is, I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't know. But what I do know is Elon time, okay, he said 5.5 years. I'm going to call it 10 minimum, right? Elon just tends to not deliver things on schedule. So I'm going to assume that. Obviously, he's a smarter person than I am, or at least that's what I thought. But we'll get there. I still think he's more intelligent than I am, but we'll just get there. Other things, let's see. Yeah, it really got me to start thinking about imposter syndrome as a whole, because people that were moderating this room, right, they were founders of companies, big shot VCs. They'd really been around, and they kind of are the epitome of the American dream. Multiple of them were immigrants that, first generation to the country and first or second generation, and clawed their way up, building a business. And it's like, wow, it's like, this is American exceptionalism at its core. They fought, they worked hard, they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, and they made things work. But when you hear these people talk, it really got you to thinking. It's like, wow. Because I've never been like a big just mindset is everything person, but I'm starting to believe that because just listening to these people talk, they did not seem extraordinary under any measure. Now, they've done extraordinary things, but that just goes to show that it was more so about them executing than what they had up here. It was more like in the grit and the spit and the work and in getting it done. Because these people were just saying things that I've watched on YouTube videos from like between 2 and 4 years ago. One of my favorite channels, which I actually, it's kind of sad that I don't know how to pronounce the name. It starts with the keys like Kernizet or something like, the really science infographics heavy channel. So Elon was talking about the great filter. So, the filters, like there are a bunch of like filters in history and in life. Like humans have to pass a filter. It's like, say like the different extinction events. Like we have to get past a certain point to get onto the second point. And all these different filters exist before humans can get to their, their super consciousness level or, something like that, right? And then he was talking about how other civilizations on other planets probably existed, but they just probably didn't make it past their great filters. And for humans, our great filter is more than likely going to be nuclear war. And he did make a good point, which was not the first time I heard it. And I guess it's pretty common within like the science nerd community. It's like getting, like what's more likely, like, let's see, how do I say this? It's like we have two options. We either become an interplanetary species or humans die off because they broke the planet that they started on. I mean, which does make sense. Like, look at us. Like, we don't take care of what we have. We've run this planet down. Like, it's a mess. Like, we don't really... It's like, we had people that were denying climate change and all these things for the longest time, even though science said otherwise. Like, people will just deny it. It's like, okay, so we do have to get to, like, this next level. But he wasn't saying that many new thoughts that haven't been... they haven't been touched upon by multiple different YouTube channels and people in the science community for years and years. And I'm just like, wow. Even though this guy's, like, literally the peak of human wealth on the cutting edge of science, it doesn't seem like he knows that much more than an enthusiast. It was all about the execution and having, like, I guess the luck and the wherewithal to do, PayPal back in the day, so he had capital to go into the SpaceX and go into the Tesla, which really goes to show it's like, okay, humans, we're pretty much all on the same playing field when it comes to innate ability. What it all comes down to is the luck you have on your corner. And for people that weren't born into lucky circumstances, it's all about creating your own luck. Now, realistically, the more successful people tend to be like second generation money or things like that, but that doesn't mean that someone that was born in a bad situation can't, work and pretty much create their own luck. It's really interesting. Now, that's not to say like that I don't recognize there are a lot of legitimate factors that limit people from being able to take those certain risks. Like I totally get it, because it's like, I've seen communities like where people are worried about their next meal. It's like, how are you going to worry about saving and investing if you're worried about what am I going to eat in a couple of hours? I get that. What I'm wondering though is like, what can we do to just give people that tiniest bit of wiggle room? Because that wiggle room right there, that's where the luck exists. Like you give people some space so they can start thinking and they can start growing things. Like you can't build with nothing, but it doesn't take a lot to start building. We just need to give people a tiny little something. So yeah, I don't know. This is a really interesting, also, yeah, that entire interview really got me like, I'm never going to have imposter syndrome again. Because as I noticed, like, I've been like in the tech industry for a couple of, almost 2 years now. Like March will make 2 years. So next month, we're getting close, right? On the outside looking in, I always thought that everyone doing what I wanted to do was just so much further ahead than me. But the crazy thing is, once you actually have a little space, 'cause, I'm finally in a position, like I have, a little bit of capital. I'm okay at my job now, so I have a little bit of space to do some other stuff. All it takes is that one little chance. Like that little space is where all the luck is. And I really hope that other people that tuned in and watched that interview had the same realization. It's like, literally no one is better than you. It's crazy. All you have to do is focus on you, your process, and creating your own luck. So those are my main takeaways from this. Also he did, he did, Elon actually did some interviewing as well to the CEO, Vlad of Robinhood, like what really happened. And it looks like some of our theories were right. The reason that Robinhood did the limiting of the trading is because the people on Reddit, they almost won. They were basically about to break the financial system. So the way I think the order flow and like the clearinghouse and like how expensive the orders became, they really had to tap into like $3 billion of credit from the banks. And yeah, they almost broke Robinhood. And it's kind of crazy to think, right? So that was a theory I had. Like, I didn't think it was just the rich are making money, so they're stopping the poor people. I think Robinhood was actually in self-preservation mode, but them saying it was protecting, probably fake. And yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Robinhood, I'm not touching them anymore. That was really, I don't know. If they had just came forward and told the truth, kind of like how the Webull team did, it's like, yeah, we had to stop it, or we would have probably gone out of business. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Sorry, it's going to be a pretty much unedited video. Just wanted to share this with you guys real quick. But yeah, happy February, everybody. And yeah, peace.